today the dogs and I are on a nice walk in a regular neighborhood with lots of green lawns. But we are here to visit an amazing lone house on the block that is growing excessive amounts of food. Excessive in a good way, mind you. And I'm going to give you a tour of that. This is the edible garden landscape of one person's front yard garden. Now the doggies want to remind you that this is an Indian summer episode because we're in late October here, and that's why I find it pretty incredible how much food is still growing even coming into the winter. So guys, so Stitch wants to show you what's growing in late October. Come on, let's show them, guys. Good guys, come on. Let's go in the garden. Come on, let's go. Yay! You love it here. What's growing, Penny? Show us. What's growing, Stitch? Show us. Now, to go through the walkway, we have a beautiful squash vine, which we can move to the side and enter the garden. The secret garden. Oh yeah, see, here's the fig tree. All these figs, I think, that are in here, and there's tons. Just look at that. Like, do you see the figs exploding off of this tree? But it's like, but I think it's just too shady for them to all get ripe. The ones on the top get purple. Look at that beautiful, smooth skinned squash there. It's so heavy, it's gonna fall. You should see the one that fell earlier today. It was like a freaking avalanche. This is the front of the house, and there's so much vinage over the monster trellis here that you can't even see that a trellis exists, but it does. Ouch, there's pickles, huge pumpkin squash of some kind, and there's Kakai pumpkins all throughout this. Special little cucumbers. I'll post the name of those because I forgot. And those vines of the special cucumber are all crawling all over the fig tree. And over here they're crawling all over our dog run line, which actually looks pretty beautiful. It's where we tie the dogs so they can run back and forth in the garden since we don't have a fence. Alright, strawberries. They are still growing. Here's the evidence. You just have to look. And they're super yummy. Dogs. Hi Stitch, what you doing in the garden? It's our cucumber vine, and it's mostly the lemon cucumbers. These ones are how I like them in that stage, the green, but let me see if I can find you a yellow one. Oh yeah. If you leave them on long enough, they get this deep, deep yellow. And then they're great for juicing, and we make a cucumber kvass out of those as well. And underneath is our celery root. This big, thick stalk here, it tastes like celery, and under there is the root, which you can cook and bake, but you can also slice it thin and use it as raw chips and dip them. So here's the baby cucumber. I'm not allowed to pick them when they look like this, but I love the way they taste when they look like this. Okay, and then over here on the edge of the garden is the famous and beautiful feijoa tree, or pineapple guava as people call them. And check this out. You're supposed to wait until they fall onto the ground like this, and that means they're ripe. And guess what? There's a whole bunch of ripe ones. We have the famous lychee tomato from South America that's constantly making these spiky leaves that scrape us to death as we walk by. As you can see, they're like booby traps across the pathway. Let me move on to the fig tree, which is one of our newer fig trees, and it makes these yellow, here's one that's kind of getting riper. You can see how it's hanging off the branch like that. They get big too, like that. They're jelly figs of some kind, and they're not supposed to have seeds in the middle. They just have the sweet fig jelly. So they are like a really special treat. And if we go over here, that's the pomegranate tree falling over into the other people's yard, which they don't seem to mind. But look at that. There's a beautiful big pomegranate getting ready right there. Because the season is upon us of winter, but we still have lots of summer crops as well, like these beautiful red peppers. And I'll show you a whole bunch of more peppers getting ripe. Here's the hot ones. And the fun little cherry bombers. They look like that, but they're just all still getting ready here at the later part of October. Look at the color. Those are so yummy. On this side, those are the sunchokes growing high into the air, and the scarlet runner beans that make these flowers go over the trellis here. And I made a video of me harvesting those, which you can look back a couple shows. And here's a whole bunch of the scarlet runner beans that have dried nicely. So these will be ready for packing and keeping. Check out the beans inside. We actually packed those up and sold them last year, so maybe we'll do that again. That was really fun. Then we've got rocket arugula, different kinds of exotic greens. This is the Malabar spinach. It's so good. And let me just take a little step back here to show you how wild and crazy this is. That is the landscape of the garden. Have you ever seen anything like it in our raised beds? Over here is the basil that I tied up, so if you think the staking is particularly beautiful over here, that's because I did it. And those are all our basil plants, which are going to seed, but there's still plenty of harvestable basil, and then we'll have seeds later. Except for this is chickweed, and that's my favorite, like, wild green to eat. I love the taste of chickweed. Put it in smoothies all the time. Wow, look at those peppers. Man, we need to have a pepper dehydrating party here. Somebody's eating a tomato in the garden. Good work, Stitch. And then we have like several different herbs in here and some Italian parsley, and this is just having a heyday, exploding out of its little tiny, I don't know, 1 foot bed down there. And then over here we did have kale and some different types of spinach and some arugula, and as you can see, it's all gone to seed. Oh, this is the New Zealand spinach down here. And somebody, oh, what's your name?
Andy.
Will you say hello on the video?
Sure.
And then we have Andy here volunteering in the garden. How has your experience been working at the Growing Your Greens garden?
It's been really nice. It's really beautiful here.
Isn't it amazing how much food he's growing just in his front yard?
Yeah, it's really incredible. It's a good way to live.
So what's your job?
Right now I'm picking up leaves.
Okay, look there, he's got his nice bucket of leaves. He's doing a great job. Thank you for your help.
No problem.
Oh yeah, and here's our grapevine. So beautiful. We've got grapes drying themselves. You can see they're getting kind of wrinkly and pruny, and we can just take raisins right off the tree. Up the vine goes. Hi.
Hey,
What's your name?
I'm Izzy.
And what are you doing at the Growing Your Greens garden?
I'm cutting up this Jerusalem artichoke to put it in the compost.
Yeah, 'cause it got all dried up.
Yeah.
Good, good. We almost got a full compost bin here. That is always getting filled, like more than once a week when you're here at this garden. But I know you did farming before, but is it kind of fun to be at like just someone's little house garden and realize how much food you can grow in a small space?
Yeah, this garden's awesome. Like, especially if you look at the other houses around here, and then here it's like an explosion of life and edible things.
All right, I'm gonna keep on touring. Thanks for everything.
No problem.
All right, so that pretty much concludes our tour of what's growing on in this Indian summer garden and all the goodies that come with it. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for updates.